Hey guys, what is up? And in today's video, we are going to be checking out the greatest album ever, Dream Theater's Metropolis Part 2, or Scene from a Memory. We are going to be looking at why this, in my opinion, is the greatest album to ever exist on this planet. And we're going to be taking a look at the album itself and discussing the storyline and everything in it. So, as you can see from the front cover, it is a bunch of pictures that, when you look from a distance, is a face. And then when you flip it to the back, you see that this is split into Act 1 and Act 2. Now, if you haven't listened to the album, basically what this is a concept album. What that means is every song on this album flows together like it's one giant 70 plus minute song. And it also has a story, so it's like listening to a movie, pretty much. All the songs flow together and they're cut in some weird spots at times, but this album is intended to listen like from track 1 all the way to track 12 as like a full album. So as we can see, there are 9 different scenes, and some scenes have like a part 1 and a part 2. We'll explain that in a little bit. So as you can see from scene 1, regression, and then scene 2, you have a part 1 and part 2. Basically, what it is part 1 is sort of like an intro or an opener for part 2. So in this case, Overture 1928 is like an opener for Strange Deja Vu. So then we go to scene 3 and we have the same thing. Through My Words is like an opener for Fatal Tragedy. And then we have scene 4, Beyond This Life, which is an amazing song. Trust me, we'll get to it. And then we have Through Her Eyes, and then we go into Act 2, which we start off with scene 6, Home, then scene 7, like the other two, Dance of Eternity is like an opener for One Last Time. And then we have scene 8, The Spirit Carries On, and then scene 9, Finally Free. So you basically start out when you're this guy Nicholas, and you believe that you're this girl Victoria in a past life. So you go see a doctor to go under hypnosis, because that like apparently helps you see what she was doing. So you like find out that she was murdered, and you want to figure out how she was murdered and like the whole story. So basically, she was married to this dude, and he was like a drug addict, did like gambling problems and alcoholic. So she decided to like go marry his brother, kind of weird. And the husband finds out about it and basically kills Victoria, kills his brother, and then commits suicide because he doesn't want to like get in trouble or everything. And you're pretty much trying to like figure out all the nasty details about it, and it's in the newspaper and everything, but he believes that it's like a lie, like all of it is not true and there's more to it. So then basically you figure that out, then you get out of the hypnosis and you decide to go home, but the doctor is actually following you home. Pretty much he kills you because he wants to like keep the cycle going of people going to the hypnosis and figuring out this story or something. And yes, very confusing. If you want more information, go on the Wikipedia, because I've listened to this album probably around 100 times, quite literally, and I still don't even understand the story. Alright, so the album starts on scene 1, Regression, which is a 2 minute and 6 second song, and it pretty much starts off where there's this clock ticking, and this doctor who's putting you under hypnosis is like talking to you and trying to get you to like understand and like fall into the hypnosis. But the one thing that I cannot stand about this song is the clock is not a metronome. It's offbeat, which always kind of gets me. And then it slowly like fades out, and then like the actual song starts to fade in. Then we kick into scene 2, Overture 1928 and Strange Deja Vu. So Overture 1928 is an instrumental, and it is very good. Let me just say that. There's a bunch of like these little sections that like it falls into where it's like very, bright and up pace and like some slower melodies. And then when Overture 1928 ends, Strange Deja Vu kicks in. And let me say, the cut between these is very good. It is, these songs sound like they are one song. It is very hard to like know when Overture ends and Strange Deja Vu like kicks in. So I mean, take a listen for yourself. So then we kick into scene 3 of Through My Words and Fatal Tragedy. So once again, just like the last time, Through My Words is sort of like an opener for Fatal Tragedy, and they like really connect well. Like this one is probably even better. It's harder to tell when Fatal Tragedy actually like starts. I mean, take a listen for yourself. Impossible to break. Alone at night. So then Fatal Tragedy is more of a slower headbanger kind of song on this album, which is nice because a lot of the album is like fast paced because it's a lot of solo and stuff. And then Beyond This Life is really cool because the cut between them is like the doctor talking to you, and then it kicks into a faster tempo, then like continues on. Take a listen for yourself.
Now it is time to see how you died. Remember that death is not the end, but only a transition.
So this song starts off where you're pretty much, the lyrics are directed off of the newspaper that talks about her murder. So it pretty much is talking about everything that happened. So it's pretty much like reading the newspaper. And then it goes into this long solo part, which is amazing. I mean, this is the first time we see it in this album, but it's really cool because they do this very long solo and then it carries on into like a really nice ballad song, which is 10 out of 10. I mean, one of the best things about this album is just how they place the songs and how all the songs flow together. Just take a listen for yourself. So Through Her Eyes is pretty much the main ballad in this song. I mean, if you were to crown any of these songs, this would be the song. This is probably one of the most saddest songs on here. It pretty much just talks about how Nicholas is finding Victoria dead and is feeling really bad and sad about it. Then we kick into Act 2, and let me just say, Act 2, I love both of the acts, but this would probably be my favorite one if, like I had to pick one or the other, because this starts on Home, and I tell you what, this is the most powerful Dream Theater song ever written. I say that because for the most part, the whole song's an up-tempo, song, but the thing that is the best part about this is the beginning. It's literally like nothing, and then all of a sudden you just like jump scare you out of nowhere. Take a listen for yourself. I mean, you cannot tell me that that is not like the coolest intro to a song ever. Now, this is the longest song on the album. It's only 12 minutes and 53 seconds, and I say only because normally Dream Theater's longest song on an album is like 20 plus minutes. Alright, we made it. The Dance of Eternity. We finally did it. Now, most Dream Theater fans obviously know what this song is, but if you're not, oh boy, you're in for a surprise. This is a Journey song. No, I don't mean the band. Like, this is a lot to take in this song. This song, I think, has over 120 time signature changes. I looked it up. It's 108. My bad. I feel stupid because I've listened to this album over 100 times. I should know everything. So, sorry. I make mistakes. I mean, this thing is like they got all their skills and talents and wrapped it into one 6+ minute song. I mean, this is insane. I can show you some of the highlighted parts, but you gotta listen to this song by yourself, the full song, to understand what this is. Then after the prog journey of the Dance of Eternity, we kick into one last time, and once again, the cut between these is very nice. Take a listen. Then great, we get to the last few songs on this album, and let me just say it, these are the saddest Dream Theater songs, and not because, I mean, obviously they're just very sad, more slower songs, but it's the end of the album, and the end of albums always gets me because, especially albums I love, I don't want them to end. So, One Last Time is basically another cryable song on this album. I mean, there's not really any highlighted moments, in my opinion. So then we kick into The Spirit Carries On, and I take that back about saying Through Her Eyes, this is the most cryable song, in my opinion. As weird as that is to say, this song is a tearful song. Let me just say that. I mean, I can give you a few clips of it here.
If I died tomorrow, I'd be alright. It carries on. Your memory
Alright, then after all the sad crying moments, we get into Finally Free. And this, just like with Overture, this is the opposite though, but this has to be the best outro to any album I've ever listened to. And the cool thing about this one is Mike Portnoy in the Drumeo interview, he said that the ending part where they're like kind of going crazy, he plays it different every single time when they do it live. So
And as you can imagine, as the skies have grown darker here over Washington, the mood has grown darker as well, and people here are beginning to resign themselves to the possibility that they are witnessing yet another tragedy in a long string of misfortunes. Reaction from everywhere, from Washington and certainly from around the world, as
Open your eyes, Nicholas.
Alright, so there we did it. We did a basic summary of the entire Metropolis Part 2 or Scene from a Memory album from Dream Theater. So, honestly, why I think this album is so perfect is not the storyline, it's just how the songs flow together. You really get caught up in the music and the vocals, and it really changes your mood from, being bright and happy to being sad and almost wanting to cry. And another thing is, it does an amazing job of being a metal album while not being screaming and blast beats and double kick. It's like a very light and bright album. But words can only describe so much, so if you want the full experience, you're just gonna have to listen to the album yourself. Trust me, it's really good. Alright, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Trust me, this video took a long time, and I'll see you in the next one.